There are films that entertain, and there are films that move you, and then there are films that quietly sit with you long after the credits roll. Song Sung Blue, written, co-produced and directed by Craig Brewer, belongs firmly in the last category. It's a film about music, yes, but more importantly, it's about survival, connection, and the strange, beautiful ways people find each other when life seems to be falling apart. Based on the 2008 documentary of the same name by Greg Coase, Song Sung Blue tells the real-life story of Mike and Claire Sardina, a Milwaukee couple who performed together as the Neil Diamond tribute act, Lightning and Thunder. What initially sounds like a modest, even quirky premise gradually unfolds into something deeply human, emotional, and unexpectedly powerful. Sometimes truth really is stranger and more moving than fiction. Craig Brewer first encountered Song Sung Blue back in 2008 at the Indie Memphis Film Festival, where the original documentary made a quiet but lasting impression on him. 15 years later, in 2023, Brewer reached out directly to Greg Coase to option the rights for the scripted feature. That long gestation period feels appropriate because this is not a story that can be rushed. This marked Brewer's first wide theatrical release since Footloose in 2011, and his second true story film following The Dolomite Is My Name in 2019. Filming even began on the 13th anniversary of Footloose, a small but poetic bit of symmetry for a filmmaker whose career has often revolved around music and underdogs. Principal photography took place in Monmouth County and Old Tappan in New Jersey, beginning on October 14, 2024, and wrapping on December 11th of that year. The film is beautifully shot by Amy Vincent, whose cinematography gives the story a grounded, intimate texture, never glossy, never showy, but emotionally precise. At the heart of Song Sung Blue is the relationship between Mike and Claire Sardina, portrayed here by Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. Both characters have lived hard lives, both have endured trauma, disappointment, failed relationships, and personal demons. And yet they come together through music, specifically their shared love of Neil Diamond songs. And this is where something extraordinary happens. What makes the story so affecting is not that it's romanticized. Their bond isn't perfect or easy. There are setbacks, emotional fractures, and moments where everything feels on the brink of collapse. Yet through performing, through singing, through standing on stage together, they find a shared purpose and ultimately a second chance at life. One of the most surreal elements of the story is the fact that Lightning and Thunder once opened for Pearl Jam. On paper that sounds absurd. In the film it almost feels too far-fetched until you remember this actually happened. And that's the magic of Song Sung Blue, the reminder that real lives don't follow neat dramatic arcs, and sometimes reality is far stranger than anything a screenwriter could invent. Now, if there's one performance that anchors the emotional core of the film, it's Kate Hudson here as Claire. This feels like a genuine return to top form, arguably her best performance in years. Hudson brings warmth, fragility, strength, and vulnerability in equal measure. She never pushes the emotion, she lets it emerge naturally, often in quiet moments when the camera simply rests on her face. Her singing is also genuinely impressive. Hudson doesn't just perform the songs, she inhabits them. There's a rawness to her vocals that fits the character perfectly, making the musical numbers feel like extensions of the drama rather than interruptions. It's no surprise that Hudson earned a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, as this is a deeply human performance, layered and honest, and it lingers long after the film ends. While Hudson may receive much of the award's attention, Hugh Jackman deserves far more credit than he's likely to get. As Mike, Jackman is the emotional foundation of the entire film. He holds it together, quietly, patiently, without ever demanding the spotlight. Yes, Jackman can sing, we already know that, but what's most impressive here is his emotional restraint. He plays Mike as a man carrying years of pain just beneath the surface, someone who has learned to survive rather than live. Jackman's performance is all about subtlety, a look held for half a second too long, a voice that cracks and then steadies itself. This is Jackman reminding audiences of his range and depth as an actor, not just a performer. Without him, the film simply wouldn't work, and the chemistry between the two, Hudson and Jackman, is off the charts. It's raw, natural, and the two complement each other perfectly. The supporting cast is uniformly excellent. Ella Anderson as Rachel Cartwright, Claire's daughter from her first marriage, delivers a surprisingly controlled and nuanced performance. In many ways, Rachel is the adult in the room, observant, cautious, and protective, and Anderson captures that complexity beautifully. It's a layered, understated turn that adds emotional weight without ever feeling forced. Then there's also a welcome sense of fun and performances from Fisher Stevens as Dave Watson and Jim Belushi as Tom D'Amato, both of whom bring warmth and humour without undercutting the film's emotional seriousness. Maki Imperoli and Mustafa Shakir round out the ensemble with grounded, believable supporting work. A lovely piece of trivia is that the real Claire Sardina makes a cameo in the film, a small but deeply touching nod to the true story at its centre. Now, one of the film's greatest triumphs is how it reframes Neil Diamond's music. Everyone knows Sweet Caroline, but Song Sung Blue reminds us of just how prolific and varied Diamond's songwriting really is. His catalogue spans joy, melancholy, resilience, exactly the emotional terrain the story inhabits. Diamond personally granted the rights to his music in this film, just as he did for the original documentary, having met Claire Saldana in real life. The songs are woven seamlessly into the narrative, never feeling like nostalgia bait, but rather emotional expressions of the characters' inner lives. Jackman and Hudson even performed the songs from the film live at Radio City Music Hall on October 3rd and 4th in 2025, a special concert presentation that blurred the line between film performance and tribute. Song Sung Blue premiered at the AFI Film Festival on October 26, 2025, before screening at the Savannah Film Festival. It received strongly positive reviews, with particular praise for its performances and emotional authenticity. The film was released theatrically in the United States on December 25, 2025, by Focus Features, positioning it as a quietly powerful counterpoint to the louder, more bombastic holiday releases. During the promotion, Jackman and Brewer even travelled to Milwaukee, where local favourite Cop Frozen's Custard released a special flavour called Song Sung Blueberry. Jackman served custard himself at the Greenfield location, one of those charming real-world moments that perfectly fits the spirit of the film. Song Sung Blue is a human interest story, elevated by beautiful music and deeply felt performances. It is sad, introspective and somber, but also hopeful, joyous and quietly uplifting. It's a film about two people who, through music, found an unwavering connection and gave each other a second shot at life. Through all the trials and tribulations that life throws at them, Mike and Claire found a way, not just to perform, but to live, love and endure together. It's poignant without being manipulative, emotional without being sentimental, and above all, it's honest. A stunning film that will linger long in the memory, and just also remind you how fantastic a performing artist Neil Diamond truly was. Song Sung Blue gets a 9 out of 10. So what did you think of Song Sung Blue? Please let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.